Hello, good evening. It's day 2 of VLOGMAS, and today I wanted to talk to you about how salsa changed my life. But before I get into that story, I want to share with you my objective of VLOGMAS this year. I'm going to be uploading every day, and you can ask me questions and I will answer them. As you probably know, if you watch my channel, I usually speak about sexuality, female sexuality, sex toys, sometimes relationships, intimacy, a bit of healthy living, but I'm also open to talking about different things as well. But I've just realized, last time I did a daily uploads, which was in July, that what I really love to do is to create a space for a discussion about the topics that make us tick, such as intimacy, sexuality, etc. But I also want you to get to know a little bit more about me, because I'm not just sexuality is part of my life, but it's not everything. And that's why I am going to share with you today about how salsa changed my life, because it's something that's been very, 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 very influential in my life. Anyway, I was living in Paris many moons ago as a student, and I was so lonely. I talked about loneliness yesterday as well in my video about why I hate Christmas. So loneliness has been a big theme in my life, being a misfit. However, it has also been an incredible motivation to make changes. And the changes I've made as a result of feeling lonely have brought incredible joy into my life. So I was in Paris living alone at a time when I wasn't really prepared or kind of emotionally mature, or how would I say, I didn't really have my feet on the ground, and also we didn't have smartphones or internet at home, so it was a lot harder to actually spend time alone when you don't have these digital distractions. I had a long distance relationship, a guy in London, and my phone bills were just insane. So we didn't have WhatsApp or anything like that we have now, no ways of communicating for free. As a result of my loneliness, I actually found a group of to learn French. It was a French for Foreigners language school, and I joined it, and I went for classes on Tuesdays and Fridays, and it completely changed my life because I met an incredible group of young people who were also in Paris for a year with the same objectives as me, which was just to make the most of that time and to learn French. And they were very curious about discovering all aspects of French culture, the city, and etc. So I had friends from all over the world, but the friends who impacted me the most were the Spanish and Colombian ones. And it was like, I didn't even know where Colombia was on a map at the time, but this kind of way of thinking was really refreshing for me. I've come from the UK, where everyone's getting completely wasted every weekend at university. That was a normal thing. Whereas these people were, I'm not saying that all Latinos are kind of like are sober, but these particular people were very healthy, and they were into salsa. I remember one night they were going to go to a salsa event, and I was thinking, salsa? I don't know how to dance salsa. I don't even like the music. I don't understand the music. I wanted to dance to kind of like freestyle pop commercial music at the time. And I ended up going to the salsa event, and I loved it. Oh my God, it was transformational for me. And it was kind of like a new concept of, having, dancing with a male partner, learning some steps, which is obviously something that's very traditional, but it was new for me and at the time, and it was something that I'd never considered before. And so I got really into it, and I started seeing a Colombian guy, and he changed my life. I gave up alcohol at the time, and he just showed me a more healthy way of living. And he didn't want to be in places that stank of smoke. He was more about wanting to just dance, go into nature, things like that. So he really opened my mind to new things. And also because lots of my friends were speaking Spanish, I was listening to Spanish all the time, and that kind of gave me a bit of Latin fever. And also the music, even though I didn't really understand the lyrics, I felt something in my heart. It was I felt like I'd been like Latin in a previous life. It was, and then when I went back to the UK, which was very hard to actually go back to the rain after this incredible experience in Paris, I listened to salsa music or even Cuban music, and I was just like, oh, it was almost too painful for me. And I was just like, I've got to get to Spain, because I just really wanted to be in a place where there was more salsa vibes. Not saying that Spain is a salsa country, but there was a lot more kind of Latin culture here, and also I wanted to learn the language. So that's why I came to Spain, really, because I had this massive fascination with salsa. So I came to Spain, learned Spanish, and I kind of never left. And I got into salsa again. I in Madrid, and then in Barcelona as well. But it was kind of like intermittent, kind of, sometimes I was into it, sometimes I wasn't, depending on my friend groups, because a lot of my friends didn't dance salsa, so it wasn't easy for me to kind of penetrate the world of salsa wherever I was. However, maybe about, I don't know how many years ago now, but maybe around 16, 17 years ago, I went out to a salsa club with a friend, and there was one guy in this place who was like the best dancer. And I ended up asking him to dance, and we ended up becoming good friends, dance partners. And a year after being dance partners, we became lovers. It was insane. And we ended up living together as well. And in parallel to that, I had been also working at a salsa record company. I'd found my ideal job as an international manager, dealing with international distributors, also media, radio, because salsa was kind of like a really big thing around Europe at the time. So it was, I was living a salsa dream, work was salsa all day, home was salsa, and my social life was salsa. So it was just like, wow. However, both of those things ended very, very, very badly. And to the point where, the job I was in ended up in an industrial tribunal. So, and it was very hard. I spent 4 months not working because it was so hard on me psychologically to bring lawyers into this situation that I was in at work. I'm not going to go into too many details, but if you've ever had anything like that happen, because you can get very burnt out in a professional situation if you have some kind of legal issues. And also what's really hard about having a court case is that it goes on and on and on forever. And you have to kind of deal with, getting witnesses, and also the day of the court case when you're facing the people who've made your life very difficult. So that was a very hard thing for me to go through. And then they I won, and then they appealed, and then appealed as much as possible. And yeah, so at the time I was just like, no more salsa. And also the relationship I was in also ended quite badly. So you can understand maybe from those situations, I had had enough of salsa for many, many years, and I couldn't even listen to it anymore. So I stopped dancing completely. But then this year, it's really interesting because I don't know how many years have gone by, but I was in a kind of I was having a bit of a down day, and I decided to try and make myself feel better. I decided to say yes to things all day, which is an exercise I would highly recommend anyone to do. It's, I think yes opens doors and it presents new opportunities. And that's exactly what I wanted to discover with this, and just to kind of open my mind to things that I wouldn't normally say yes to in my life. So this started with, I was invited to go on an art walk on a Saturday morning. I never get up early on a Saturday morning. I thought, yeah, why not? I'm going to schmooze in these art galleries in Barcelona. We'll look at this art, which is, it's supposed to have this message and concept. And I'm like, what is it? It's just a dot on a piece of paper, I kind of like that though about art, the art world. It's just a lot of BS, but it's interesting as well. It's a bit kind of like the Emperor's New Clothes, but I do kind of like being in environments like that. People who live in a kind of different world really from mine, and it's nice to open your mind to different worlds. And I'm also interested in what the intention was of a particular piece, because they're not decorative. Modern art is not. Contemporary art is very rarely decorative. But anyway, that's a bit of a sidetrack. So I opened my mind to something new. And then someone said, do you want to come for lunch here? Do you want to come to this, meet my friends here? And I was like, yes. And then I ended up, I host events every Saturday night. And afterwards we ended up in a flamenco concert, and then in a Cuban salsa concert. And I was back in this world that I, hadn't been in for such a long time. and there was salsa music playing, and then a guy asked me to dance, and I was like, I haven't danced for years, I'm not sure if I can. So I just thought, why not? I've been saying yes all day. So I ended up dancing one song. I was a bit wooden because it's been such a long time. But then I got into it. I was like, another one. We danced for like 7 songs. And it completely replanted the seed of salsa in my brain again. And it helped me feel forgiveness as well for those situations I'd been in. Because salsa, it brought me passion. It brought me Latin fever. It planted the seed of wanting to learn Spanish, and I'm a fluent Spanish speaker now, and I've been living most of my life in Spain, but also it caused me pain, and now I'm in a place of I forgave salsa. I've kind of forgiven it, and also now I'm kind of rediscovering it. So every weekend now I'm dancing salsa, and I think I've got to a place where I'm actually better than I was before. But today, oh my god, today I had like 2 left feet. I'm not sure what happened. But yeah, I'm listening to salsa all day now, and I'm really back into it and just reconnecting with who I used to be. So yeah, I think I think dance is a great way just to get the energy moving in your body. And it's also interesting about the masculine and feminine energies, because before, years ago, I used to kind of try and lead when I was dancing with the guy I was seeing, who was my salsa partner, and I would always try and lead. I was very in my feminist energy. I'm still a feminist, of course, but whereas now I'm kind of relaxing in the divine feminine and just like allowing the guy to take the lead and just follow, which is a really good exercise for me because I'm not really used to that in life in general. I like to be in control of everything. So it's nice just to focus on the beat and the steps, and then just like let someone spin me around a few times, and yeah, it's a very good experience. And also I think it's a kind of spiritual experience of like getting energy moving through your body as well, and also appreciation of the music. And now I do have friends who share this with me, which is very fortunate. I'm very fortunate. So every weekend now I'm dancing a lot of salsa, and also it's kind of made me rethink about my sports activities, because before I was really into going to the gym 3 times a week to do weights, which I love, and then I walk everywhere, so that's kind of how I keep fit. But then I watched the Netflix documentary about the blue zones, and it didn't talk about people going in the gym. It was more about people who are active and people who are, gardening, walking up hills, walking in general, and just kind of being active and mobile, and not sitting down all day and sweating in a gym. So I just thought dance is a great way, and I want to do that a little bit more, to do things that are fun. Because I think if you're doing something sports-wise where you have to look at the clock every 2 minutes, that's not the right sport for you. And that's how I felt when I've been doing things like HIIT or spinning. I'm so bored in those things, and you don't want to be doing things just because it feels good after. I want to enjoy every moment during the activity as well. So salsa is something that is kind of cardio, and I'm also just forgetting about how long I've been there, because I'm just enjoying the music so much, and also the art forms of learning new steps, new twirls, and how to kind of use your body to kind of create new shapes, etc. Because I just find it very, very elegant and it's a good expression. Yeah, so tomorrow I'm going to go to the gym and get a new workout with my personal trainer with weights. I'm going to have, 1 day of weights and then 2 days of salsa, and then the rest walking. So that's how I'm going to be keeping fit. And that's it. That's how salsa changed my life. What about you? Have you tried salsa? What do you think? Do you like dance in general? I think it's a great thing to try. And also I really think it's a good thing for your brain to kind of learn different. It's about coordination, and choreography is more of a brain thing than a body thing. And I think it's good to keep it flowing. Yeah, so that's my video for today. If you have any suggestions for new videos, I've got 23 days to fill up VLOGMAS, so definitely some space for some new things. And I hope you find this inspiring, and I hope you find joy in dance as much as I do. And I'll be back tomorrow with some more VLOGMAS. So if you have any ideas, write to me at venus@venussahara.org, and I'll be back mañana at 9 o'clock my time in Spain. Mwah.